Have you been to doctor after doctor and no one can figure out what's wrong with you? CrowdMed claims it could be the place where you finally get some answers. But after a 3-month KDKA health investigation, we still had more questions than answers. Here's health editor Dr. Maria Simbra.
Would you use the wisdom of crowds to diagnose your medical condition?
I think that I would probably come to a decision on my own with a lot of medical journals and information and from my physician versus the crowd.
100 minds think better than one mind, right? So I think it would be beneficial.
The statistics say they'll do well, but I don't think I'd trust them.
A website called CrowdMed says it can harness the wisdom of crowds.
More than half of our patients tell us that the crowd successfully brought them closer to a correct diagnosis or cure.
The idea behind the wisdom of crowds is that groups come to better decisions collectively compared to any one person within the group.
We asked a crowd of our own to take a thoughtful look at the website, which claims to put your hard-to-diagnose medical case in front of so-called medical detectives to get you a diagnosis. These detectives aren't necessarily doctors, but can be medical students, retired physicians, nurses, physician's assistants, chiropractors, scientists, naturopaths, and regular people who enjoy solving medical mysteries. They are paid based on diagnosing correctly, confirmed by your own doctor. For a fee that ranges from about $100 to $500, your case will be presented to these anonymous sleuths. The more you pay, the more attention you'll get.
The more patients are engaged in their illness, the better the outcome is going to be.
This local doctor finds the concept intriguing.
If you're going to have a difficult case, then having a group of individuals is much better than having a single individual. And if you think about it just from the point of view of what medicine has always practiced, we've done very similar kinds of things, and we call them grand rounds.
But he hadn't gone on to the site itself at the time of the interview. This doctor did. I requested that he enter a difficult case with a known diagnosis to see what kind of answers we would get back. He was sufficiently alarmed by the type of information requested that he did not want to appear in this news report. The site asks a patient for their medical history, but also how they feel about their symptoms and how much money they've spent on their condition. And there were graphs reflecting activity that were not quite in line with the number of replies. The site also asks for more money to present the case to more medical detectives or for a personal phone call from one of them. We had already paid top dollar to have our case evaluated, and after a month and a half, only got 2 responses. One off base and one moderately helpful suggestion. We weren't about to pay any more.
And this is really a commercial enterprise. And so I would say if you're going to use a site like this and you want to try your hand at the wisdom of the crowds, realize you're a consumer, that you need to be skeptical, that the buyer needs to beware.
This medical ethicist worries that people who are desperate for answers might be drawn to such a site.
If you don't know who the experts are and you don't know what their expertise is and they don't have some sort of fiduciary obligation to you, how do you know they're not just in it for the money and not, there to help you? There's no guarantee that these people, any of these people, have your best interests at heart.
In the end, after 90 days, we had 3 suggestions and 5 diagnoses, and none was correct. We reached out to CrowdMed CEO Jared Hyman about our case. He said our case received 22 medical detective participants, which is generally appropriate. He also said he felt the quality of the case we presented was lacking in detail and that, quote, high-quality cases with responsive and engaged patients tend to get much more attention and better results.
Okay, so you're a doctor. You've looked at this website. In your opinion, is this a site that people should even go to? Should they go to this site and give it a try?
Right. Well, here's my take on this. I think if you have the right kind of case, that is a long-standing problem with lots of detail, lots of emotion, and if you have the resources to give it a shot, you may get a helpful answer. In our experience, we didn't. But I would also review everything very carefully with your own doctor. Your doctor knows you in person, and taking good care of you is their responsibility.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.